Chat, today we are going to be reacting to the 7 levels of a Geometry Dash player. Oh yeah, this was made by Nimpop, so go subscribe to Nimpop, like this video, and he has some other videos on his channel. So let's search up Nimpop. Nimpop is one of the best YouTube videos. He makes the best YouTube videos. Nimpop. He got 72% on Reddit. This is one of the best YouTube Shorts creators. Like he beat Supersonic, which is actually pretty crazy. And he's talking about Splatoon and Minecraft, which I'm not a Minecraft guy, but if you are, you can go watch him. But anyways, let's react to the video. The 7 levels of Geometry Dash players.
AT&T's been carrying America's calls since 1876. When you've been around that long,
Geometry Dash has levels to it, both in the literal sense and in terms of the skill brackets that every player falls into. My name is Nimpop, and in this video, we're going to be going over the 7 levels of Geometry Dash player. Starting with level 1, Beginner. Your friend gives you their phone, challenging you to play a game called Geometry Dash. You had never played the game before, but you decide to give it a shot. You give Stereo Madness a try, but you immediately die at 5%. Slowly but surely, you get the hang of the game and manage to beat Stereo Madness. Once you get home, you install GD Lite on your phone and complete the first few main levels over the next few days. You're considering upgrading from GD Lite to buying the full game, as your friend told you can make your own custom levels and even play other people's levels.
I played Geometry Dash Sub-Zero, and then I played Geometry Dash full version. And the hardest thing I beat it right now is B. Legitimately B.
This makes you curious on what the most difficult levels people have made in the game are. So you decide to look up the hardest Geometry Dash levels on YouTube. Then it really hits you how difficult GD can truly get.
Nah. If you beat this level, Reef, you should run for president!
Jynxzi, in my opinion, is a good example of a level 1 player, beating his first few main levels and taking an interest to the game and community. Level 2. Novice. After seeing all the cool features, you decide to buy the full version of Geometry Dash. You continue beating the main levels and notice they start getting increasingly frustrating, taking more and more attempts to beat. But over the next few weeks, you keep playing and manage to beat all the main levels. But for you, this doesn't mean the game is over. In fact, you're now excited to play some of the community levels you've seen online. You first play what's most popular, you try Outer Space, and even go for some easy demons like the Nightmare and I Spy with My Little Eye. You also learn about some of the game's top players and YouTubers like Zoink and King Samalot. I think Steak is a good example of a level 2 player, managing to beat Theory of Everything 2 and being I think Steak is a good example of the game's top players and YouTubers like Zoink and King Samalot. I think Steak is a good example of a level 2 player, managing to beat Theory of Everything 2 and being decently
That's CG5. That's CG5. Vortrox and King Samalot was in this call. CG5 was in this call.
Familiar with the game's most popular levels and creators. Level 3. Decent. You now officially consider yourself a Geometry Dash player. You're telling all your friends about the game, and your YouTube feed starts to push you more Geometry Dash creators like Eric Van Wilderman, Vortrox, and a really goated YouTuber named Nimpop. You're now able to beat medium demons with enough practice, so you finally complete Skeletal Shenanigans after being mesmerized by how impressive the decoration looked compared to the main levels.
This looks so awesome.
You try out more of Geometry Dash's features like the gauntlets, which you have some fun playing. You then try You try out more of Geometry Dash's features like the gauntlet.
My gauntlets don't look like that. How do you get your gauntlets to look like that?
Which you have some fun playing. You then try the map packs and quickly find out they're complete garbage. You then take on your first hard demon like the legendary level 9 circles. It's a challenge, but after a couple thousand attempts, you finally beat it. An example of a decent player would be 8-Bit Ryan, beating a few medium demons pretty fast in early 2.2. Geometry Dash is quickly becoming one of your favorite games at this point, but you feel like you could use some upgrades to your setup to improve your skill to the next level. Level 4. Good. For the mobile players, this is the point where most of you probably make the upgrade to play on PC to reduce your input delay. On top of that, you decide you want to level up your peripherals to to play on PC.
You spent 2,000 hours on Geometry Dash? Okay, get up. You have every single achievement? Okay.
Reduce your input delay. On top of that, you decide you want to level up your peripherals to push your skill even higher. So you beg your parents to buy you a Sayo device and a 144Hz monitor for your birthday. After plugging them into your setup, it hits you how much of a difference it makes in your gameplay. Finally, you discover the last piece of the puzzle, which is thankfully free this time. That being the Geode mod loader. You install mods like Eclipse to practice levels with no clip limits and start position switchers, and you also install Globed mod to play online with your friends. All these upgrades and mods help you beat your first insane demon like Windy Landscape or Supersonic way faster than you would have normally. After this, you're now ready to take on the hardest difficulty in the entirety of Geometry Dash, your first extreme demon. You go for an easy one like Accu or Cataclysm, and it ends up being your first time taking over 10,000 attempts to beat the level. But after a long struggle, you manage to beat your first extreme demon. You're ecstatic, but despite the fact that you're now able to beat levels of the hardest difficulty in the entirety of Geometry Dash, you realize that within this single demon difficulty is still so much room to improve. An example of a good player would be Michelle, beating a couple insane demons and Cataclysm as her first extreme demon. Level 5. Great. You've now become the best player out of your friend group and are likely extremely knowledgeable about the GD community and its history. You've beaten most, if not all, the gauntlets and have amassed a good amount of stars. Now that you have all the hardware you need to max out your skill in Geometry Dash, you continue your journey beating harder and harder extreme demons. You go for a top 660 level like Bloodbath, the most iconic top 1 in Geometry Dash history. Your attempt count for each new extreme demon getting higher and higher, making it to the 30 to 50,000s. You then jump to a top 430 demon like Black Blizzard, and finally to a top 290 like XO. Most dedicated GD players might settle around this skill level, beating various extreme demons you find interesting, but not quite willing to dedicate the time required to beating demons any harder. But some players will take on the challenge of pushing their skills to its limits, by setting your sights on your first list demon. I think players like Eric Van Wilderman and Vortrox fit well into the great skill bracket, beating many extreme demons with their hardest ones being around top 300. Level 6. Pro. You've known about the demon list for a while now, the top 150 hardest demons in the entire game. But after all the blood, sweat, and tears you put into improving at GD, you're ready to finally beat one of these levels yourself. You find a demon in the extended list you're ready to beat as your first.
Let me pause this because it keeps talking over me. Aeon beat Deimos. Aeon beat Deimos. And I'm not talking about the Deimos that's rated 198 and that's the unnerved version of Phobos. I'm talking about the Deimos that's like top 30. That's his hardest.
This demon. That demon being Renevant in my case. You get a 59 to 100% run, a 27 to 62% run, and before you know it, you have the level in 3 runs. You decide to start streaming the level and logging your progress on your own channel. The attempt count starts rising like never before, to the 40, 50,000s, even to 100,000 attempts in some cases. But after an exhausting 2 to 4 month grind, you finally beat your first list demon, becoming a certified Geometry Dash pro. Every level beyond this ends up being a similar case. You go for your first main list top 75 demon like the Golden or Tartarus, and continue to hone in your skill, spending tens of thousands of attempts and a couple months to beat each demon. I think players like Dorami and Aeon Air fit well into the pro category, having many list demons under their belt. But there remains one skill bracket that reigns above them all, that only a select few players could ever manage to reach. Level 7. Generational. To reach this level of skill in Geometry Dash requires a trifecta of hard work, hardware, and talent. We're talking playing the game since a kid, having a 480Hz monitor, and top tier reaction time and muscle memory. In fact, to even make it to this tier of skill, you were an outlier from the start, likely beating your first demon levels within days of playing the game, and completing list demons in mere thousands of attempts. The only thing that could even be a challenge for you is completing a current top 1 demon, the hardest demon in the entire game. A level creator announces their new level looking for verifiers. You step up and offer to verify their level. They accept, and you begin your journey to completing a level that pushes the boundaries of Geometry Dash to new heights. You grind for months through gameplay that the average.
Oh yeah, let me tell you something. After Doggy did Solar Flare at Avernus, he decided to drop Grief. I don't know why. Watch. I think Nimpop made, I'm pretty sure Nimpop talked about it. pretty sure Nimpop did talk about it. Can you make it short? Apparently he didn't. He posted Vortox's Erebus completion and his Avernus and Doggy's Avernus completion. Well, let's just get back to the video. Let's stop worrying.
Person could never beat in 100 years of playing the game. And after 100k plus attempts, you verify a new top 1. You become a legend in the community, your presence and skill impossible to ignore. You become solidified in Geometry Dash history.
That in Minecraft just for this video, that looks pretty cool. I would never be able to make something.
As a generational player. Prime examples of generational players are of course Zoink, W Popoff, Trick, and even players like Riot for his time period. Which brings me to an important point when trying to classify players. Certain players may be considered in categories above what they would generally be assigned to based on their hardest levels completed. Some good examples are MaxDash, a legend of the GD mobile community who could be considered a generational player despite never beating a top 1, due to the fact that he managed to beat the top 22 Demon Firework on mobile, making the completion much more difficult. Or Keelandcraft, who at only 8 years old is managing to beat top 500 levels like Auditory Breaker, an insane achievement for such a young age. And the most obvious factor being time. Players like Riot or Nswish were without a doubt generational players for their time period. However, due to the rising skill ceiling over time, their achievements are not considered nearly as impressive today as they were back then, which is why you should use a bit of nuance when trying to classify your own or someone else's skill. That's the 7 levels of Geometry Dash player. Which skill level do you think you belong to? Let me know in the comments below.
Stop, Trent. That was it. So, if you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure you leave a like and hit subscribe. Please, we're trying to get the 50 subscribers. 50 subscribers is our goal. And our goal for today, let's get like 50 likes. 50 likes, that's all I want. Alright guys, see you tomorrow. Have a great day.